Hi, I'm Debbie with Book and BuJo, where I talk about all things books, bullet journals, and stationery. Join me as I set up my January reading journal. Let's do a flip through of the yearly collections, as well as maybe fill out a couple of them a little bit more. So I have my goals and my book covers, my 25 and 2025, and some other book lists here, classics and nonfiction. My prime reading. You're in Aeldia, we have not gotten yet. I will fill that in once that comes in. My year-long Readathons. And then a year of Goober, so the Gooberathon with Jashi Curran and the BuJo Buddies Book Club. I do have a couple of icons here for that on my sticker paper. Okay, so we have the Snowdrop and the Carnation are the two prompts for January. So we have our January prompt for Gooberathon. There are my year-long Readathon options for January. The Carnation, oh, I need to write Snowdrop on there. The Carnation is a read book by your favorite author, and that right now is David Estes, and that'll be Forsworn. Of course, I could also use Brandon Sanderson, Wind and Truth. That would work as well. Let's see, Snowdrop. The other one is a Snowdrop, and that is to read an author that is new to you, and that is Jade Juniper, the author of The Solstice Court. Then for TBR Knockout, the word for January is dark, so you can read a book with a dark word in the title, and or you can read a book with dark themes. You can either combine them or keep them separate and read two books, but one dark window should fit both of those. And then for Sufferathon, we have Join a Lifeboat, read a book that helps with your 2025 goals, or Fall In and Hope, a book you've been meaning to read. And the book I chose actually fits both of those because it is on my 25 and 2025 books to read, and it's been on that list for a couple years now. And that is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. And I have my bookshelves, my books read, which of course haven't finished any yet because it's the 1st of January. I actually did finish 2 books today, but they are both from December. And I only had like 10% left of them, so they don't count for January. More books read. And then my Bible reading tracker, which I can actually fill out. I'm going to use my green metallic jelly roll pen from Sakura. And I read the first 3 chapters in Genesis. And add that to my key over here. And I have my memory verses. The verse for the year is marked 9:23. Everything is possible for one who believes. And for January, it is Ephesians 4:22 through 24. To put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life, and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds, and to put on the new self, created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. Read down my Kindle. So as I finish Kindle backlist books, the ones that I've had for a long time, I will add those to my list. I will also add a list of ones that are my priority reads I definitely want to get to. That's probably been on my list for the longest. My 5-star reads for the year. the BuJo Buddies Book Club, we're reading Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, and I have read that one already. Catch-up Book Club for December and January, we're reading Malice by John Gwynne, and I've read that one already as well. For the Game of Tomes for the January, February, and March book is The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. I'm looking forward to seeing what that one is. And then for the Hardcore Literature Book Club with Benjamin McAvoy, Game of Tomes is with Carolyn Murray Reads, which I should add that on there. And then the Hardcore Literature Book Club with Benjamin McAvoy for January, we are reading 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And then we get into January, and I have my January dashboard, calendar, and then I have my stats and other things on this side. So let's go ahead and get started setting that up. Actually, before I start sticking all these things in, or cut some of my supplies, I do have some sticker paper that I got for Christmas, the Joyberg sticker paper. It's like washi tape, but in paper form that you could put in your printer. So I have that, and I did print out some icons for my journal. And I have the Reading Time ephemera book that I'm going to be pulling some stuff out of again. I have all of my handy everyday supplies, so my scissors, ruler, eraser, sort of still see the alien on there, my pencil, and my corner rounder, as well as my glue stick, which comes in really handy, and this one actually works really well. Any version of it that I've tried it. This one is the one that's blue. It kind of shows up blue and then dries clear, so you know where you've put the glue on your paper. I haven't decided if I'm going to use this one yet or not. I think I am, because it kind of matches with this picture, which I got from the Reading Time book, and this is kind of the colors that I will be using in my notebook for January. So the Monami 3000 Plus pen works well for that one, and this one is in the camel color. And then I have a bunch of Ohuhu markers. So 3 of them are the Ohuhu journal markers that have the fine liner on one side and then the brush tip pen on the other. And then I have the dual tip brush pens that have the brush tip on one side and then more of a felt tip pen on the other. And these are in the green, the blue, and kind of this more mustard brown color. And then I also have the gray, the green, and the brown in this one. And then at the end, I will also be setting up my books read bookmark. And this one will be a double bookmark because it just depends on how many books I'm going to end up reading in 2025. All right, let's get started. Here's my books read bookmark. So this is from the one of the Archer and Olive notepads, and then I used my corner rounder on the edges. And then I will be using 2 of my Zebra Sarasa clip pens in the vintage colors in this gray and kind of denim blue. And then I have an Ohuhu journal marker in the number 20 with the brush tip on the one side and the fine liner on the other. And this is my books read in 2025 bookmark. So each time I finish a book, I will color in one of the squares and keep going until I get to the end of the year, however many. My goal currently is 199 books, but I put some extras in just in case. And then I do have a little key here. If I color in just the top left corner, then that means I read the book. If I color in the bottom right corner, then that means I have also reviewed it. So I did just finish a book while I was filming my reading journal setup. So I can color in the top half here. And I will most likely have to come back in with another pen and put the number back in there. Or I might be able to do it with this one too, because this one's so opaque it'll cover up everything. I may switch to one of my glitter pens so you can still see the number underneath. Each month I will do a different color. So for January it'll be this blue, which means I should probably put a little key in here that says January. We'll do a little J. So each month I'll come in and do a little square of what color and then the letter of the month to let me know what is what. And then however many books I read at the end, that's what I will put here. And there's room in here to add some more. For some reason I go crazy and read even more, but I'm hoping I don't. And my goal is to have the full square colored in for every book that I've read, which means I am keeping up with my reviews as well, which I did horribly in 2024. So I have a lot to catch up on and a lot to do going forward, but I'm excited for this one because that means if I, for some reason, finish my reading journal before the end of the year and move into a new one, I can just bring this one with me and don't have to set up another spread for it. So let's go ahead and move into a final flip through of my January reading journal. And now for final flip through. So I have my January calendar, and this is where I will put the books that I'm reading. And I'm not doing the page count or audio hours listened this year. I think it just was took up more time than the results were worth, personally for me. So I am just going to keep track of when I started the book and then when I ended the book. The A and B ones here, which correspond to my little index over here, are the two books that I started in December and I finished on January 1st. So I have Fae Song and Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. And then I started A Deadly Education because the Libby Hold came in for me, so I made sure I grabbed that. And then I started Unpredictable Magic and The Solstice Court. I have those color coordinated, and when I finish it, I will do that blue dot again, and I'll just rotate through the colors as we go down. And then I have a couple events already scheduled for the Ketchup Book Club live show for Malice by John Gwynne, as well as on the 30th, I'm so excited, Dusty Bowling, who is one of my favorite middle grade authors, is going to be in Prescott at the Prescott Library for an author interview. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm going to make sure I make it to that one. And I will try and make sure I get to some pictures of that as well. Dusty Bowling is the author of 24 Hours in Nowhere and Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus and quite a few others, and most of her books take place in Arizona. So on this page I have my January stats, my favorites, as well as, again, the books that I'm reading that correspond to the calendar here. And then a lot of these smaller stickers came from Journal Say, and the bigger ones here are from the Reading Time ephemera book that I got for my birthday. And I do have my Journal Say discount code linked down below in the description box in case you would like to take advantage of that. These ones are also from Journal Say, and these are from that Reading Time book. So my TBRopoly, so I have what my role was, what I got from it, the book I'm going to be reading, and then I'm going to put the page count and how many hours the audiobook is if I'm listening to the audiobook for all of them. And then I will fill in this box here once I have reviewed the book on Goodreads and Storygraph. And then it continues over to this side. And then I found a quote by Benedict Cumberbatch, and it's, "I can feel infinitely alive curled up on the sofa reading a book." And I just thought that was great. And I had a girl kind of curled up reading as well, so I thought that would be a great little sticker to put in there. And I have my book clubs. I had kind of forgotten exactly what I was doing on this Readathon page, and this was supposed to be the Readathons that are just for January, and I kind of forgot, and I filled this in with all of the year-long Readathons, but that's okay. I just made an extra page. So you'll see that in a minute. So I have all the different book clubs. The ones colored in are the books that I have read already. I read those in December or previously, like Nettle and Bone I've already read for the BuJo Buddies book club, and Ketchup Book Club I read Malice in December, and The Gathering Time for the Wheel of Time read along I read that in December as well. I have the Beth and Beyond book club, Game of Tomes, and Hardcore Literature that I still need to read. And then for TBRothon I will put in the books that I read here, and sneak peek, that's on that side. And same with the final book support group, I'll put the books in on this section. And then over here for the Readathons, I have Buzzwordathon, what book I'm going to read, and the prompts, TBR Knockout, Gooberathon, and then if I do read anything for our Fantasy Bingo, Horror Bingo, or the 52 Book Club, I will put those books and the prompts in here. I have Sufferathon. Then once we get the prompts for the year in Aeldia, I will put those here for both Ariel and Karasu, my two characters. And he's just so cute. Had to use him. Okay, and then we have the TBRothon by Leandra, the TBR Zero. And this is the map for Books of Paradise, which is the mood reading one. And then I have what the letter is corresponding to, what the designation is, and then what the prompt is. And then I will either put some of the book covers over on this side, or I will just kind of put them over top the actual spot on the map. And then for the final book support group with Steph Loves, round 17, and this is from January 20th through the 26th. I always do mine for the entire month, but the official time is the 20th to the 26th. And for each of the different prompts, I will either put the book covers down here or on the actual prompt. So I'll just put it up at the top so you can kind of lift it up and still see what the prompt is underneath. That's all I have for January in my reading journal. And I am so excited to get into it and start filling it all out and coloring in all my little dice rolls. When I color in the dice, it's how far through the book I am already. So if I'm 25%, I'll just color in a quarter of it, 50% if I have this whole one in, etc. And it turns out super cute at the end, especially when I use the glittery pens. It's called Sparkly. And it'll be fun to see my calendar get filled in as I go with the different books I'm reading and any other live shows and sprints or anything else I may be taking a part in for January. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want it, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other bookish content from me. And if you made it this far in the video, leave a letter emoji in the comments to let me know that you were here. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!